Hi guys, it's Stock Curry, and man, what a crazy weekend. There's no news to talk about, so I don't have a market update, but the crypto markets have been going crazy. As I predicted on Friday, crypto absolutely mooned. All of the altcoins such as ADA and Doge and DOT and all of these coins that were possible alternatives for Tesla have absolutely mooned over the weekend. Meanwhile, the two big ones, Bitcoin and Ethereum, have absolutely crashed. And so we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk to you guys about why Bitcoin and Ethereum are both crashing right now and what I see next for those two cryptos. We're also going to talk about some altcoins, including Dogecoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic, and some new ones that we have not yet covered on this channel. Now, I don't really have a lot more to talk about other than that. If you guys are interested in stock picks, we also have over 20 different stocks that we're going to talk about today. So no matter who you are, no matter what you're interested in, I've got it for you. We're going to get into it. But before we do, I just want to throw this out there. I saw a comment over the weekend where somebody lost $22,000 trying to learn how to invest in the stock market. Now, this doesn't surprise me. I have seen people lose well over $10,000 before trying to learn how to invest. Here's the thing I've said before, and I'm going to say it again. No matter who you are, you will pay for your education one way or another. You might do it by losing thousands of dollars in the stock market trying to learn on your own, or you could save a ton of money and just pay for some sort of education course that teaches you how to trade. Now, if you're new to this channel and you hear me talking about things like, let's say you're a new investor and I say things like PE ratios and some technical things like EMAs and MACDs and RSIs, and you're saying, I have no idea what Stock Curry's talking about, but I just pick a few stocks that kind of sound good and hope they go up. If that's you, I strongly recommend that you enroll in some sort of trading course. Now, I have searched for some of the best trading courses for new investors, and by far the best one that I have found personally has been ZipTrader.U. ZipTrader.U was put together by another YouTuber that we cover on this channel called ZipTrader, and he has, in my mind, one of the best trading courses for new investors. If that's you, I actually went out to ZipTrader and I worked out a 15% discount for you. Normally the course is $399, but you get 15% off of that, whatever that works out to be. It's like $337 or something like that. Anyway, it is way cheaper than trying to learn how to invest on your own and losing thousands of dollars in the stock market. So, if you're interested in that, if you want to enroll in ZipTrader.U and save yourself thousands of dollars in education costs by doing it yourself, I have a link to ZipTrader.U in the description of this video. I strongly recommend all new traders go enroll in that so that you're only paying $300 and something odd dollars for education and not thousands of dollars in losses. All right, for those of you guys who are new to this channel, my name is Stock Curry. I used to work as an analyst for some large investment banks, and now I analyze stock picks from the top 10 YouTubers. I give you both the cliff notes from those top 10 YouTubers as well as my analysis on their stock picks. If anything I talk about today piques your interest, make sure you listen to who I say talked about that stock or crypto, and then go watch their video for the full details on what they said. Now, all I ask for putting all of this together for you guys is that you hit that like button, subscribe, click the bell icon, and then click all so that you can get notified when I release my next video. In fact, I'll give you 5 seconds to do that right now. All right, before we get into today's stock and crypto picks, I just want to remind everyone that I am not a financial advisor and none of the YouTubers I follow are financial advisors either. Today's video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who are wondering, you are currently looking at the Webull desktop app. Webull is the app that I use for my trading, and it is also the app that I use in all of my videos. If you'd like to get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850, you can sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up using my link in the description below and deposit just $100, Webull is going to send you 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. Now, as far as what's going to happen to the markets on Monday, I have absolutely no idea. The Asia markets are up right now. However, the US futures are down. If you look at the technicals and the indices, they are completely neutral. So it is a complete crapshoot as far as what the markets are going to do today. I have absolutely no idea. We're all going to have to wait and see. All right, let's get into today's stock and crypto picks. First up is ADA. This is Cardano. Keenan Gray said that once ADA got above $2, it would run. And in fact, we did see that happen on Saturday. ADA ran all the way up to $2.38. Keena Grace also let us know about a new partnership where Ocam and Bondly are partnering to bring NFTs to Cardano. This will be made possible by the launch of smart contracts on ADA. Based on the roadmap, it looks like smart contracts will be launched on Cardano sometime in July. Once that happens, ADA will be a real contender with Ethereum. And because of that, Larry Jones sees ADA getting to $7 by September. Next up is BTC. This is Bitcoin. Bitcoin did exactly what I said it was going to do on Saturday. It dropped right down to the 200-day EMA at 42,000 and then it bounced up. So right now we are at critical support on BTC. Like I said on Saturday, if BTC does in fact bounce from here and go up, then I think we're good. However, if BTC breaks below 42,000 and drops, I will be selling it and I have no idea how low it will go. I think quite possibly BTC could drop all the way down to 15,000 at the lowest by the middle of next year, if in fact it does break below 42,000. However, so far we are holding that $42,000 level, so I really hope that BTC holds this and goes up from here. We'll just have to wait and see what it does. Next up is DOGE. This is Dogecoin. DOGE is mostly maintaining its upward momentum, having bounced off of the 21-day EMA. However, it did drop below the upward trend line, so we'll have to see what DOGE does over the next few days, if it can maintain this upward momentum or if it's going to correct. Larry Jones thinks that with all of the upward catalyst on DOGE, including the introduction of smart contracts as well as everything I talked about on Friday, that DOGE will continue to run. Larry Jones said DOGE is no longer a meme coin and is now turning into a real coin, and I agree with that. Larry Jones thinks DOGE will go past $1 in the next 6 to 8 weeks. StockMo thinks DOGE will hit $1 sometime in the next year. Whenever it happens, I personally have a $1 price target on DOGE, and I plan to sell my DOGE once it hits $1. I plan to move my DOGE money into other cryptos such as ADA and DOT, as well as some dark knights such as XTZ, which is Tezos, which we're going to talk about here shortly. Keena Grace also let us know that a major vehicle manufacturer, Nissan, is now accepting Dogecoin for down payments on their vehicles, up to the equivalent of $5,000. But there is some strong fine print here, and that is the fact that Nissan is charging a 25% transfer fee for the transaction. So this appears to be more of a marketing ploy than anything that anybody would actually take advantage of. In other news, Elon Musk sent out a new tweet saying that if DOGE speeds up its block time by 10x, increases its block size by 10x, and drops its fee by 100x, then it wins hands down as a replacement for BTC. Now that seems a bit extreme, but this is Elon Musk we're talking about here, and we already know that he's working with Dogecoin developers to make it happen. And I would never ever bet against Elon Musk when he sets his mind to something. Next up is ETC. This is Ethereum Classic. ETC is now trading well below the 10-day EMA. It is still holding the 21-day EMA for now. The MACD remains bearish, and I am personally waiting for a pullback to the $51 support level. Keena Grace let us know that Grayscale's ETCG Trust had a 1-year lockup. That 1-year lockup period is almost over, so that could cause more selling pressure on ETC in the short term. In the long term, however, Charles Bouvard with Forbes believes ETC will reach $500 eventually. Keena Grace recommends dollar cost averaging in, but personally I'm still waiting for ETC to drop below the 21-day EMA and to get down to the 50-day EMA before buying in. Next up is ETH. This is Ethereum. StockMo said ETH is screaming for a correction, but in the long term it has a lot of good catalysts, and I agree with that. StockMo said he is ready for a correction in ETH and said a correction is actually healthy for this crypto. In the long term, StockMo sees ETH getting to around $10,000 next year, possibly as high as $30,000 in the next 5 years, and all the way to $100,000 in the next 10 to 20 years. StockMo said he will continue to dollar cost average in on ETH every Monday, regardless of the current price. He also said that he is very happy to be buying ETH at the 21-day EMA at around $3,500. Of course, that was a few hours ago, and now ETH is trading well below $3,300. Now technically, ETH did have a death cross on Saturday, and it is looking very, very bearish right now. I will reiterate my buy-in price of $2,500 and my ideal buy-in price of $2,200. Next up is MATIC. This is Polygon. Larry Jones showed us how MATIC rose over 40% on Friday. MATIC is up over 260% in the past month. Larry Jones thinks MATIC is a sleeping giant. Polygon is currently number 20 by market cap and is rising rapidly. Next up is XTZ. This is Tezos. Larry Jones showed us how XTZ is dipping, which you can see on both the 1-month and 3-month charts. Larry Jones said this dip would be a good time to buy XTZ. I would also agree with that given this trend line that we have right here. Tezos is currently 39 by market cap, and I would call this a dark night. Alright, now let's get into our stocks. First up is AMD. This is Advanced Micro Devices, better known as AMD. Tom Nash took a look at why AMD has dropped 13% over the past 2 weeks. He took a look at the fact that AMD has great profits and earnings compared to its competitors, and it is also growing rapidly. He does expect growth to slow in 2022 due to an artificial spike this year due to the pandemic in 2020, but he still sees continued growth over the next 5 years. They also have plenty of cash and no debt. So in summary, Tom Nash just thinks that AMD is down due to the overall tech sell-off and market correction. And depending upon the future growth, that determines AMD's current valuation. If the growth rate is 20%, AMD is overvalued. If the growth rate is 25%, AMD is fair value. And if the growth rate is 30%, then AMD is undervalued by about 20 to 25%. Tom Nash does believe that AMD will continue to see growth rates of 30% and above, mainly due to their explosive growth in the corporate server space. Therefore, Tom Nash believes that AMD is undervalued by about 20 to 25%. Now, Tom Nash covered significantly more in his video and actually did a full fundamental analysis on the company. So if you are invested in AMD or thinking about investing in AMD, then I would strongly recommend you go watch Tom Nash's video that he uploaded Saturday. Next up is APXT. This is a SPAC and they're merging with AvePoint, which is a data management company that is specifically focused on the Microsoft Cloud. Chris Sain reminded us about APXT. Because APXT is a SPAC, it has a floor of around $10. It can't drop any further until it merges, so if you're looking for a play with zero risk, any SPAC such as APXT that is trading for around $10 would be a play to consider. The reason SPACs have a $10 floor is because they have a $10 redemption value, meaning that at any time you can call your broker and redeem your shares for $10. Next up is BIDU. This is BIDU. They're a Chinese internet search company similar to Google. ZipTrader likes BIDU as a possible short squeeze. However, I looked at Fintel and BIDU has quite low short interest. It is holding the 300-day EMA, the RSI is rising, and the MACD is rising, about to form a golden cross. So the chart is very bullish on BIDU. The analysts are also very bullish on BIDU, with the average analyst price target coming in at $356, which represents a 91% upside from Friday's closing price. Even the most bearish analyst has a price target at $280, which is about 50% higher than Friday's closing price. Next up is BNGO. This is Bionano Genomics. Keenan Grace went over some of BNGO's earnings highlights. Revenue was up 179% year over year, and they had $362 million worth of cash on hand. BNGO jumped 22% on Friday after earnings were announced. And as we can see on tip breaks, the average analyst price target is $12, which represents a 122% upside from Friday's closing price. By the way, those prices are based upon price targets that were reiterated or assigned 2 days ago after earnings came out. Now, Chris Sain gave a buy-in price of $5.50 on BNGO and a crazy low ideal buy-in price of $2.50. I really do not see BNGO dropping below the 300-day EMA of $4.30, especially with their outstanding earnings that they just had. But who knows? There are a lot of stocks that I never thought I would see this low, and here we are. Next up is CAR. This is Avis Budget Car Rental. Smart trader likes CAR for a short-term technical day trade. CAR had a falling wedge bullish breakout on Friday, and now Smart Trader is looking to play the 52-week high breakout. If CAR breaks out above $90.30, he sees CAR getting to $100, which is a psychological level that people will want CAR to get to. So Smart Trader is looking to enter CAR once it gets above $90.30, and then sell once it gets close to $100. He plans to be playing the June 18th $95 call options to give him time for the play to work out. That lowers his risk over playing weekly options. Next up is CCIV. This is a SPAC and they're merging with Lucid Motors. Lucid Motors is an American EV company and a competitor to Tesla. The merger has been pushed off until the third quarter of 2021. Also, the CEO of Lucid Motors will no longer commit to 20,000 cars by the end of 2022. Now, a lot of that has to do with supply chain issues and not necessarily anything wrong with Lucid. However, Keenan Grace is waiting to see if Lucid will actually deliver their goal of 577 vehicles by the end of 2021. If not, he is thinking about pivoting out of CCIV and into another play. For now, though, Keenan Grace is still buying and adding on to his position. Technically, CCIV is real close to the 300-day EMA, which closed Friday at $16.56. So there is actually a chance that CCIV drops below $17 before bottoming out. I still think any price under $20 is a good deal, but if you can buy CCIV under $17, that would be amazing. Next up is CLOV. This is Clover Health. This is a Medicare Advantage provider. Chris Zane recommends CLOV now that it is back below $8. We saw some short squeezes in April and it looked like CLOV might go back up, but this recent correction has pushed the price back down. I would personally wait a few days to ensure that CLOV will hold the $7 support level. If it does, then I would be comfortable buying back into CLOV. If CLOV drops below $7, then there's no telling how low it will go. Chris Zane did give an ideal buy-in price of $4. CLOV had mediocre earnings, so I think the hype was overdone, and that's why CLOV remains heavily shorted. Personally, I sold my CLOV back in April, and I do not plan to buy back in. Next up is CPSH. This is CPS Technologies. They are a composite metal manufacturer used in naval ships and space vehicles. Dead Inside let us know that CPSH is getting a new CEO. The current COO, Michael McCormick, is going to become the new CEO. Michael McCormick has experience in the government defense sector and has grown numerous companies to hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Since defense, and specifically armor, is an area that CPSH is trying to grow in, Michael McCormick is the perfect CEO to help them do that. Next up is DISCA. This is Discovery Channel. DISCA was beat down after the Archegos Capital liquidation. However, ZipTrader let us know that in the past few days we've seen some large funds start to buy back into DISCA. And on Saturday it was announced that AT&T is exploring merging with DISCA. That should be a huge upward catalyst for DISCA, as rumors of mergers often cause stock prices to skyrocket. Combine that with a possible short squeeze, and this could be very good for holders of DISCA. Do expect much of the price action to take place pre-market on Monday. Now, if you do not currently have access to the pre-market trading, I strongly recommend you open an account with Webull. Webull gives you access to pre-market trading starting at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you sign up for Webull using my link in the description of this video and deposit just $100, Webull is going to give you 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. For those of you who are not U.S. residents, I recommend Interactive Brokers for pre-market trading. I also have a link to Interactive Brokers with instructions on how to get up to $1,000 in free stock on my promotions page. I have a link to my promotions page in the description of this video. Next up is FB, Facebook. Smart Trader likes FB for short-term technical day trade. FB is currently in a falling wedge technical pattern which is bullish. Once FB breaks out above $317, Smart Trader is looking to open a bullish position. Once it does, Smart Trader sees resistance levels at $323 and $331. Once FB breaks out above $317, Smart Trader plans to open a bullish day trade with a $323 price target. Next up is FCEL. This is Fuel Cell Energy. They are a renewable energy company. Chris Zane said FCEL is set to explode. Technically, FCEL remains bearish on the EMAs with the RSI and MACD neutral. If FCEL can close above the 10-day EMA consistently for about 4 or 5 days in a row, then I think we'll have confirmation of a rebound. If it does rebound, it will have to get above $9. Once it does that, $13 or $14 is probable, and you could potentially double your money. However, if it fails to rebound, then I think FCEL can continue to drop, and if it drops below $6, then the next support level isn't until $3. Next up is FTFT. This is Future FinTech. Chris Zane showed us how FTFT is down 70% over the past 3 months, and he said this is a buying opportunity. He did give a $2.50 ideal buy-in price. The EMAs are still quite bearish, the RSI is showing oversold, which is bullish, and the MACD is neutral. So altogether, we have no idea what FTFT is going to do. I personally don't like investing in plays without some sort of consensus amongst the technicals. Fundamentally though, FTFT was approaching profitability before the pandemic killed its 2020 revenues. However, if FTFT is able to get back on track, then I think this would make a great long-term hold, and I will give you an $8.50 2-year price target. That would represent a 200% profit over the next 2 years, or tripling your investment in 2 years. Next up is IDEX. This is Ideanomics. They make a wireless charging station for EVs, similar to how your phone charges on a wireless charging pad, and they are involved in many other EV products and businesses as well. Chris Zane said he likes IDEX at $2.50. IDEX has actually held up much better than most of the other high-growth stocks that we are invested in. IDEX is holding the 200-day EMA for now, although the chart is bearish and may drop below the 200-day EMA and down to the 300-day EMA soon. I'm going to give you a $2.40 buy-under price with a $2.20 ideal buy-in price on IDEX. If, however, IDEX turns bullish for any reason and consistently starts closing above the 10-day EMA, then you can consider buying in at any price under $2.80 for a rebound and run-up. Chris Zane has a $5 price target on IDEX. I think that's a little high, and I think a more reasonable price target is $3.50. Next up is Li Auto. They are a Chinese EV company. Stockmo showed us how Li has not been this low in nearly a year. He sees the absolute bottom at around $15. Stockmo thinks Li was way oversold, and he is looking to add more to his portfolio. Also, TipRank shows us that the average analyst price target is $35.50, which represents a 93% upside from Friday's closing price. So if Li does in fact rebound, you could potentially double your money within the next year. Next up is MA. This is MasterCard. ZipTrader likes MA as a pandemic reopening play, especially with the recent pullback it has had. MA did bounce off of the 100-day EMA. The RSI is rising and the MACD is turning bullish. These are all early signs of a rebound though, and we do not quite have confirmation yet. I also do not like the PE ratios in MA. Even the forward PE ratio is 46, which still seems quite high to me. Next up is MS. This is Morgan Stanley. They are an investment bank. Larry Jones thinks banking stocks will continue to go up, and he has been buying MS. Larry Jones gave an $84 buy-under price. Next up is NIO. This is NIO, and they're a Chinese EV manufacturer. Stockmo thinks NIO will be a leader in the EV industry in China. Unlike LI and XPEV that are only up 7% and 11% over the past year, NIO is still up over 800% over the past year. Stockmo said he will continue buying EV stocks. On TipRanks, we can see that the average analyst price target is $62.50, which represents an 87% upside from Friday's closing price. Stockmo thinks NIO is way oversold, and he sees NIO getting back to the $37 to $38 range over the next 2 weeks. Ken & Grace also let us know that NIO grabbed 23% of China's EV SUV market share, while Tesla only grabbed 17%. Which means NIO remains the leader in the SUV market in China. Once NIO starts selling their sedans, Ken & Grace thinks NIO could overtake Tesla in overall sales. And I think that makes sense given the fact that NIO is a Chinese company and it will be preferred in China, especially since it has the backing of the Chinese government. Next up is OTIS. This is Otis Worldwide. Smart Trader likes OTIS for a short-term technical day trade. He's looking to play a 52-week high breakout on OTIS. Once OTIS gets above the 52-week high of $79.56, Smart Trader will open a bullish position. Smart Trader has an $82 price target. Smart Trader plans to day trade OTIS using the June 18th $80 call option. Next up is PLTR. This is Palantir. They're a data analytics company. Tom Nash let us know about a new contract that PLTR just received with Cellular Medicine. Tom Nash also let us know that PLTR might benefit from Biden's executive order to boost the U.S. government's cybersecurity, and I also think that would be good for PLTR. Now, Tom Nash did stress that failing to look at future growth is a big mistake that a lot of bears make. Tom Nash stressed that the forward PE ratios are far more important than current PE ratios. Now, PLTR isn't currently profitable, and they have no desire to be profitable anytime soon. They are strictly forecast on growth right now. So to determine a proper valuation on PLTR, you really have to look long term, say 5 to 10 years out, to determine a proper growth rate and EBITDA multiple. Of course, that far out is very subjective, so that's probably why there is so much disagreement amongst analysts as to what the proper valuation on PLTR is. In fact, if we look at tip ranks, we have analyst price targets ranging from $17 all the way up to $28, with the average pretty much where we are right now. So all of that said, I will reiterate that in the short term, I see PLTR trading in a range of between $20 and $24. However, in the long term, I do see an average 14% annual growth on PLTR. Next up is SKLZ. This is Skills, and they're an online gaming company. Chris Sain said that SKLZ is down over 60% in the past 3 months, and it is now set to explode. He gave a buy-in price of $16 with an ideal buy-in price of $12. Now, it's hard to say what SKLZ will do over these next few weeks. The EMAs are still quite bearish, while the RSI and MACD are neutral. SKLZ does have a floor of around $12.50, so that would be an ideal buy-in price for me. Next up is SQ. This is Square. Chris Sain loves SQ at any price under $200. The EMAs are still bearish, but the MACD did rise on Friday, so if SQ can hold the 200-day EMA this week, then I think we could see SQ bottom out and start going back up next week. This is a fintech company that should perform well with rising interest rates. Chris Sain said SQ could double in price from here. Next up is TSLA. This is Tesla. They're an American EV manufacturer. StockMo compared TSLA to other Chinese EV stocks such as NIO, LI, and XPEV. StockMo reminded us that 40% of all of Tesla's EV sales are in China. TSLA is still up over 250% over the past year. Now, the analysts only have the average price target at $787, which represents a 33% upside from Friday's closing price. That's good, but it's nowhere near the upside potential that NIO, LI, and XPEV have. Also, Tom Nash let us know about another catalyst for TSLA, and that is the fact that it has been announced that Tesla's new factory in Germany will in fact go online this summer. However, the traveling trader went over a few downward catalysts on TSLA. One of those is another crash that happened involving a Tesla that may or may not have been on autopilot. Another is the fact that Tesla's latest autopilot update has been delayed, and that is worrying some investors. Another is the recent news story that Tesla's China sales tumbled 27% in April from March. Now, a lot of that can be rented off with valid counter-arguments, and the traveling trader calls most of it an overreaction. However, the fact that China is criticizing Tesla for arrogant behavior following customer complaints is a far bigger issue that Tesla is going to have to deal with. The traveling trader thinks the Chinese Communist Party is working to push Tesla out of China in favor of its own Chinese EV companies, but he's not sure about that. And finally, looking at the technicals, the traveling trader sees the same thing that I see, that TSLA could potentially drop down to the 300-day EMA at around $500 before bottoming out. Next up is VIAC. This is Viacom CBS. They are a television network. Chris Sain likes VIAC at the current price, but he likes it better under $38. He thinks VIAC could get back up to $65 or $80. Now, the PE ratio is currently around 9, which means if we get to a fair PE ratio of 15, VIAC will be trading at around $65. So I would be comfortable with a $65 price target, but nothing higher. Next up is WMT. This is Walmart. Paul and Goomer said WMT is at a good price right now and is turning bullish, but he is concerned because earnings are coming up and stocks are notoriously unpredictable after earnings. Finally, we have XPEV. This is a Chinese EV manufacturer. StockMo showed us how the XPEV chart is very similar to the LI chart. XPEV hasn't been this low since last year. StockMo thinks the lowest XPEV would potentially drop is $17 or $18. He did buy more XPEV on Friday in anticipation of a rebound. The average analyst price target is $45.70, which represents a 77% upside from Friday's closing price. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it. Comment down below what your favorite stock pick is or crypto pick. And if you want to get some free stocks, make sure you sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up for Webull and deposit just $100, Webull's going to give you 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. They're also going to give me 1 free stock, so it helps you out and you also help the channel out. Now, if you're not a US resident, you can sign up for Interactive Brokers and get up to $1,000 in free stocks with Interactive Brokers. I have links to both of those on my promotions page, and I have a link to the promotions page in the description of this video. Now, I want to remind all of you guys that anytime I talk about crypto, these scammers absolutely bombard the channel. So if you see anybody talking about WhatsApp or Telegram or anything like that, it is not me. It is a scammer. My name is highlighted when I comment. If you see a comment and you think it may or may not be me, just click on the name and see how many subscribers they have. You'll find I have 35,000. They often have 1 or 2. So keep that in mind. I don't want to see you guys get scammed. I don't want to see you guys lose your crypto to some scammer. So please be careful out there. And finally, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon if you haven't already. I hope you have a lot of success trading, and I will see you tomorrow.